Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to take a look at armor and spell penetration. A lot of people have been asking whether precise is viable now or not. There is one thing that changed, basically, that's spell erosion. Well, not spell erosion itself, but the champion system works more front-loaded. So you see, when I put, with only a few points, I can already get 2k spell penetration. And it really goes up fast. So with 58 points, I get 4,348. Now, let's take a look at this picture here. On the left side is with a sharpened weapon, and on the right side it's with a non-sharpened weapon. So the yellow number is always this penetration. You have it on the enemy all the time. So let's just look at the light armor one on the left side. We have sharpened weapons, 5,160 penetration, light armor passive, 4,884, major breach, 5,280. So those three things are always on the boss, 100%. So we get 15.3k penetration all the time. Now, bosses have a resistance of 18.2k spell and armor resistance. So now, as you can see, same thing with medium armor on the left side, more or less, because we don't have a passive like light armor, but we use two-fanged snake set, which gives us 5,000 penetration. So we have almost the same values. Now, Crusher enchantment, Alcast and Power of the Light. I wrote 50% there because they're not always on the boss. Now, as you can see, if we have Crusher, Alcast and Power of the Light all on the boss, we get 21.2k penetration, so we over-penetrate the boss by a lot, which means we will not do more damage. Now, what I want you to understand is, those things are not always there. So, if those things are not on the boss, you will not be at the penetration cap. That's very important to understand. Crusher enchantment, tanks sometimes use infused weapons, so it even gets to 1.8 or 2k. I can't remember the exact value. Sometimes it's a 50%. I'm not sure if when two tanks use it, if it gets higher. Alcast can range between 20 to 80% uptime. Power of the Light can be 20 to 95. And obviously, if none of the tanks use Alcast or none of the healers use Power of the Light, then those things are not there. So I want you to understand that you need to decide. You need to look into your group and see what kind of debuffs are present. On the PC, it's easier because you have access to add-ons like Combat Metrics, where you can see the uptime. You can see Crush Enchantment maybe 60% or 40% uptime on the bosses. Alcast maybe 30%. So that's the thing that you need to understand. It's never the same. It's always different for each group. Because if you have really good healers, Power of the Light might be up 95% of the time. And sometimes healers can't use it because they need to block and stuff like that. On the right side, you see it's with a precise or just a non-sharpened weapon, and I have 58 points in spell erosion. So you see a sharpened weapon gives me 5,160. 58 points in spell erosion give me 4,348. So it's not a huge difference. Yes, we lose some other percentages on other champion point perks, because we have to put points into spell erosion. But are precise weapons viable? Yes, they are. You just need to put points into spell or piercing, like spell erosion or piercing for medium armor. And same thing again, you see. Light armor, major breach, spell erosion on the boss 100%. But Crush enchantment, Alcast, Power of the Light, not always. But if they're all active at the same time, we already over penetrate again. So you kinda need to find the sweet spot. Dual wield, I just want to touch quickly on dual wield because they have something really, like, they have two weapons. What you can do is you can use one weapon sharpened and the other weapon precise or infused. I actually recommend running infused because it seems to be very strong if you use a weapon damage glyph on that infused weapon. It will give you like 412 or 420 spell or weapon damage with a reduced cooldown. So instead of 40 to 50% uptime, you might get the 60% uptime on that enchantment, which is really nice. So dual wield users kind of benefit more, because it's also a little bit weird, like the weapon damage enchantment on a dual wield weapon, it doesn't get halved. Like it's the same as on a two-handed weapon. So you benefit more as a dual wield user. Now, dual wield on Magicka setups, Magicka Templar still works, but on other setups I wouldn't really recommend it. So stamina kind of has some benefit over Magicka setups with those kind of things. So I kind of hope I could explain a little bit what you need to look out for, but most important question is always what debuffs and buffs are present in your group, and then you need to adjust those things accordingly. So for me, I don't have a sharpened Maelstrom weapon. I will run precise weapons and I will just put some points into spell erosion. So I'm good to go. That's what I will do for Magicka setups. I will also do some video on the champion points, because there is a lot of jump points or break points or however you call them, and it's very important, otherwise you could lose a lot of percentage based damage. But that for a separate video. I will actually put the link for jump points into the description, and I will also put the picture, the link into the description, so you can save it on your PC. That's basically it. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.